Alas, dear children, tonight we shall be reading from My Aunt is a Witch. We do hope you have brushed your teeth and have your glass of water. If you do feel the need to go get a snack before bedtime, do so now, for we shall start reading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. After many nights of having read the story of Swordbreaker, tonight we embark upon My Aunt is a Witch. Through the slumber, I heard voices and the engine's rattling noise. Crixton Road. It was finally my stop. I opened my eyes and hurried to the exit. As soon as I got off the bus, I took the old Polaroid photo out of my pocket and started to walk along the path. I had to find Aunt Alice's house using the photo taken 6 years ago. If it wasn't an easy task... Sorry, it wasn't an easy task, I must say. No one cared enough to draw me a map. How could my dad draw it for me with all his very important responsibilities, like going through the jewelry catalogs to pick another diamond ring for my stepmother? So all I got was the old photo taken when my mother and father visited Aunt Alice. By the way, my father had to prove how much he loved Sophia almost every week, and the prices of the presents were increasing rapidly. This is exactly the reason why I didn't get a new bike for my last birthday. My father just patted me on the shoulder and gave me $5 to get something for myself. I think my stepmother is pure evil. She might be the evilest evil in the entire universe. I know that my mom, who was smiling at me from the photo, would agree. Her smile was so warm and pleasant, unlike the cold grin of my stepmother. I swear that when I see her putting the meat in the grinder while watching me with her little sparkling eyes, I sometimes feel like my life is in danger. But now I am far away, and she can't touch me with her long, pale fingers. I've already been here once. When I was little, my mother brought me with her to see her sister. At that time, everything seemed so dreamlike and unreal to me. Aunt's house truly was a magical place, full of miracles. Of course, since I was just a kid, I was imagining things. Still, I had a lot of fun during my stay. It didn't really matter if it was only a fantasy, because I was having a good time there. Gosh, I'm really glad that I left that stuffy bus and was finally able to get some fresh air. I couldn't wait to see the place from my childhood. I wonder if I could imagine something magical now. I walked along a narrow path covered in leaves. It was so nice to walk in the woods with pleasantly chill autumn wind on my face. The sun was pouring its bright colors from the sky, drawing interesting patterns on thick branches. Magnificent fir trees were surrounding me, and the birds were singing their beautiful songs merrily. The warm atmosphere lifted my spirits. I couldn't help but smile. It was so pleasant to walk through the forest in peace and quiet, especially after living in a noisy city for so long. Not so much of a wilderness after all, and the village must be close to my aunt's house. Last time, my parents and I went there to see the toy fair. Ha! My stupid stepmother probably thought she was sending me to live in some kind of dump, but fortunately, it wasn't so bad. Maybe I can even make friends with the guys from the village. Some part of me would like to fall lazily on the sofa and turn on the comedy show with J. Earl, but I felt that something interesting and huge was awaiting for me. A strange feeling for a 12-year-old boy who was just kicked out of the house by a grumpy stepmother. By the way, she herself should sometimes get out of the city to enjoy the fresh air, instead of sitting there all day. She is always at home or at work. That's probably why she's so pale and constantly complaining about everything to my dad. For a split second, I paused to ask myself why I ever thought that Aunt Alice would be happy to see me in the first place. Could she suddenly change, grow old, and become just as grumpy as my stepmother? During my last day, my auntie and I seemed to get along. During my last day, my auntie and I seemed to get along well, and we had a lot of fun together. But who knows what's going on in the minds of these adults? Suddenly, I felt my tummy rumbling. The last time I ate was early in the morning. I was given just a couple of apples for the road. The last one was now in my pocket. Groping for a round green apple, I slowly took it out and bit off a decent piece. Oh, it is so sour. I was surprised that it wasn't poisoned after all, since it was my stepmother who gave it to me. What a nasty woman. We must be telling the story of a young Donald Trump as he walked through the woods. Oh, well. Boy, somebody's made the most of their Flash animation. In fact, that's the 20th time that leaf has fallen in front of me. Well, at least she wasn't here, so I didn't need to listen to her endless comments and complaints. Sit straight, Thomas. You eat like a savage. Elbows off the table. Stop gnawing on the pen. My war with her was over for now. But I was a little worried what would happen to my father. I guess his relationship with her wasn't bad. He at least didn't have to fear to be tortured with sour apples. Suddenly, I smelled something. It came from the depths of the forest. I breathed in deeper, and the pleasant aromas of cinnamon and boiled condensed milk tickled my nose. Because all 12-year-olds love boiled condensed milk, don't you know? How appetizing. The aroma of baked goods coming from behind the trees was so inviting that it turned me into a predator stalking prey. Dude, I think you might have been a predator before. And even though my hunger was stilled for now, I really wanted to try my aunt's cooking. I even felt a taste of something sweet in my mouth. God, it smells good. This is working out pretty well so far. I could have been sent to Evergreen boarding school for boys, from which, according to rumors, no one had ever returned. And the guys at school were telling such frightening stories about this terrible place that it almost turned into one of the most disturbing urban legends. Chasing this pleasant smell, I found myself on a clearing. In the distance, there was a cliff, and judging by the photo, the house should be right there. But it wasn't. Not believing my eyes, I took a few steps forward, looking carefully at the photo. That's right, the house should be there. And suddenly, I saw it. I saw the outline of a house standing on the very edge of the cliff. It seemed to have emerged from the air. What a funny picture. It looks like it has been chased there. It had been chased there by all these sharp fir trees. But it didn't jump off the cliff anyways. My imagination sometimes likes to play games. Why didn't I notice it at once? Smoke poured from the chimney, and a delicious smell came out the windows. It seemed I wasn't mistaken, and a great dinner was awaiting for me. or was waiting for me. There we go. That's some proper English. I didn't even have time to come up to the porch as the door suddenly swung open. A black cat with a cookie between its teeth jumped out of the house. He was followed by Aunt Alice riding on a broomstick. A broomstick! Colorful sparks were shooting from her hands. What's going on here? I couldn't believe my own eyes. I immediately wanted to run away, hoping to catch up with the bus, but at the same time, I felt like clapping my hands with some strange joy. My aunt laughed so wickedly and viciously that a cold chill ran down my back. Turns out the stepmother may not be the only witch in this story.
You ate all my cookies, rascal. I'll skin you alive. Just wait till I get my hands on you.
I'm not quite sure why I chose that voice for the witch, Alice, but I did. Skin alive. Auntie began to chase the cat around the house, firing colorful sparks at him. Various luminous figures appeared around my aunt every now and then, and I looked at it spellbound. Finally, common sense took over, of course. This is just a dream. I probably dozed off during the trip. A purple glowing ball flew over my head, showering me with bright sparks. My earlier assumption immediately collapsed, and I opened my mouth again in surprise. No, this couldn't be true. It just couldn't. My common sense continued to fight, but it was obviously losing. This is just crazy. I jumped to the place where the glowing ball fell and touched the burnt grass. Gah! It's hot. And so's your aunt, dude. Darn it! Is it really true? Are you kidding me? My aunt continued to rush for the cat around the house, time after time flying over the gulf. How is that even possible? Can it be magic? Meanwhile, the cat ran around the house numerous times, but suddenly he changed direction, rushing towards me. I stood still like a statue. In a blink of an eye, this long-tailed creature climbed upon me.
I see you found yourself a shelter, rascal. Get down, Thomas.
What?
Next time, you'll get yourself under control, Grimoire.
My aunt aimed her finger at my head, and a red spark flew out of it.
See you.
With a powerful flow of magic, Alice sent the cat into the depths of the forest, and the fluffy ball disappeared in the leaves. I could have died. You almost killed me.
No need to worry since you are alive. Humana, humana, humana.
And how could I ever kill my adorable nephew? Sorry. So this is where we will pick up tomorrow night. Good night, children. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.